Mama Karen wants me to turn off my TV when her family walks by my apartment because her kid is grounded. I just moved into an apartment last week. So far, everyone I have met in passing has been nice. No one has been too loud at unreasonable hours, arguing with each other, stealing parking spaces, and other typical shared space craziness. Yet, at least, only been here a week. I did, however, encounter a Mama Karen and her 6-year-old son. My apartment is one of those half-in-the-ground units, with 2 other floors on top. As such, the top of my patio wall is level to the walking path. If I have my blinds open, you can easily see into my living room and kitchen. This honestly doesn't bother me. The weather is finally really nice here, so after work yesterday, I opened my patio sliding door and blinds to let the cooler air in while playing some Minecraft. After a while, I could hear a couple of women talking outside a few units down. Just general chit-chat. I also heard a smaller kid running around, messing with the gravel along the pathways, and generally just being a bored kid while mommy talked with her friend. Really no big deal at all. Then it happened. I heard one of the women called for the kid. Jason, get over here, Jason, fake name for protection. I looked up to see the kid standing on the path next to my unit transfixed on the TV. Uh-oh, he didn't answer quick enough. Mama Karen came stomping over to him and jerked his arm to force him to look at her, while she yelled in his face about answering her and to not watch TV, especially someone else's. I thought the way she was acting was overkill, but let it be. He's not my kid, and I'm not a parent at all, just to my fur babies, 2 cats. I did pay attention for if things got worse to jump in, but didn't stare. I only looked over when she called out to me to apologize for her son. Note, not for her behavior. I said it was fine. Mama Karen took him back over to her friend, and they continued talking. Eventually, the kid started playing around near them again. Soon, he was back over at my patio looking in, watching me play. Soon after that, I hear Mama Karen yell at him again. This time he flinched. Hard. It broke my heart to see the effects of abuse in action, and was just frozen staring at her. This time I jumped up and went to my patio door. She was already at him by them and yelling at him again. I tried to interject to say I truly didn't mind that he was watching me play. This is where the Karen aspect comes in. She turned to me sickly sweet, the demon gone for the moment, and kindly explained that dear Jason was grounded and not allowed to even look at a TV. I said a bummer dude to him in sympathy. She didn't like that I addressed him and not her. I also I think she liked that I showed him sympathy instead of instantly taking her side, even though I had no idea why he was punished in the first place. I wouldn't doubt if it was some asinine, non-existent reason on her part, or her being bothered by normal child behaviors. She then asked me something that blew my mind. Can you please shut off your TV when we're out here? We are usually out here for some outside time for about an hour a day. Or you can just shut your window and blinds. Ningle, the people pleaser. I have been raised to be almost said, oh sure, no problem, and was going to do it. Then I stopped myself thinking, what? Telling me what to do in my house? I'm trying to have a shinier spine. I told her, no I won't. Oh boy, that sure as hell is her trigger word. I thought she was going to reach in and jerk me around and yell at me like I was her child. The look was so instantly pissed off. She again explained the situation, fully expecting me to cooperate this time. She laid out her case. She made the demand again. Not a faux question this time. I again told her no. I came home to relax, and this is how I do it. She asked me if I have kids. I'm solidly child-free, and according to the laws of parenting, my thoughts and opinions are completely and instantly invalid unless I pop out at least one entire mostly full-term crotch spawn. I told her no, and she smirked. I thought so. I was ready for a lecture on how to handle kids properly or something, but she just jerked her son away, back towards the other woman, who I assumed was still there. She said something as she went, but I didn't really hear it, so I don't know if it was to me, her son, or her friend. Maybe even grumbling to herself. I hadn't seen those two before yesterday, but apparently they are out there for at least 1 hour daily around that time. There's a pool, a few BBQ pits, and a grassy area outside my unit in between the surrounding units' buildings. I get to see all the good doggos walk by and it makes my day. I really hope she doesn't cause issues for me. I just want to live there and not be bothered. I'm not going to help her parent her child. No one else in the whole world should be expected to accept her. I just do not get how she thinks she can ask a total stranger to turn off the TV in their home because she's punishing her child in hers. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. I'm proud of myself for standing my ground, as brief as the encounter was. I worry for the kid, though. Update 1. So, a small development. I called CPS. I thought about it a lot since posting yesterday. I even consulted a few people I know who have been on both sides, reporting and being reported. After telling them the story and hearing their experiences and advice, I decided to go ahead and do it. What really did it for me was that while the kid may have done something to earn the grounding, and maybe the mom had a really bad millennia that exploded in that moment, her physically jerking him around, yelling in his face, and especially his reactions pushed me to do it for his benefit. I did it anonymously and don't know which exact unit she's in. I was kind of surprised that I talked to an actual person. At first, she kind of had the tone of just taking a general complaint. As soon as I explained the kid's reactions, especially being completely nonverbal when being yelled at and shook, she took more into test. I was warned that this call didn't guarantee an investigation. Also, that it could take time to start and even more time to conclude, depending on various factors, me not knowing the exact unit number being one of them. So far, I haven't seen Mama Karen or the kid today to play spy on that part, and I'm afraid to ask around in case someone gives her a heads up. If she happens to bother me more, I'll tell the front office. For now, because I just moved in, I don't want to make it seem like I'm going to be that strict, nosy neighbor that reports every little thing. Even if a legitimate worry in this case, I will get an outdoor cam and a paycheck or two. I just moved. I'm a broke bitch, lol. Update 2. Okay, so last night I heard some people talking just outside my patio on the walkway. Like a small crowd of people, and they hung around talking for a bit. Just past my patio a couple walkways meet. It drew my attention to see what was going on. I had my blinds shut at the time, but the patio door cracked for the cooler air. I sat at that end of the couch and listened a bit. Almost right away, I got that they were talking about that Mama Karen and her kid. I waffled a moment, but went out on my patio to listen better and speak up. I asked about the situation and said I had been worried for the boy. Turns out, this is Karen's third child, and the other two had also been removed. They let me know this kid was now with his bio dad, while the other two had been put in the child care system because their fathers either didn't want them or couldn't take them. The crowd was there because they wanted to gossip about the cops and CPS showing up the evening before to get the kid. One of them was her neighbor and said that she didn't beg for her kid not to be taken so much as begged for herself to not be arrested, but was also yelling and screaming at the cops. By the end of it, the kid is out from under her and she was not arrested, but given some sort of ticket or summons concerning the kid's treatment. I told them my experience with her, and they agreed it was right to call CPS. After hearing their stories of encounters with her, and all 3 kids and calls to CPS over the last 8 or so years she's lived there, I knew I made the right choice in this case. After being reassured the kid was safe with his bio dad and his wife, I thanked them for the info and went back inside. They talked for about an hour more outside about random catch-up stuff between them. So that's it. Kid has been rescued. I am so relieved for him. I'd like to address one type of comment I saw pop up several times. Some were ragging on me for calling his flinching a sign of abuse. All I can say is that it was a "you had to see it yourself" moment. I can describe it to death and it won't have the same impact. Those who have been abused or have seen the results know the exact kind of flinch I am talking about. It's not just a "I got caught" kind of startled. It's more like recoiling from an impending physical blow they know usually follows, that kind of words/tone/volume. Or like the words themselves are the hit. Yes, I completely understand that calling CPS or any authority can have lasting effects that might look bad on innocent people and create stigma in their community. My friends who have had CPS called on them were at first very upset and angry. Then later they realized it meant someone was looking out for their kids. Even if it had been someone trying to stir shit and create a stigma against them or misunderstood a situation, i.e. seeing a moment of blow-up, if they were good parents, then it will quickly be realized. CPS can also provide various resources for struggling parents, from counseling to assistance programs. It's not solely about taking kids away. The friends who had CPS called on them were able to realize they were struggling in some ways and got whatever help they needed that way. We only see moments and slices of people's lives at a time. Sometimes it can look horrible. I agree it is important to look for other signs that it is truly a bad situation. I just can't completely turn a blind eye. I'd rather make sure someone is okay.